Hi, and welcome to MBD Blogs. This is something completely new for us to do, and it gives us a chance to actually let you a little bit more into our world and tell you a little bit more about what we do. The first video, which is the one that you're watching on MBD Blogs, is about fire safety. Now, fire safety isn't something which can be sniffed at by any company really, but when you're referring to the entertainment industry, it's a little bit more important. It's important for us to make sure that we are not only health and safety conscious in some of the things that we do on stage and off stage, but we have to worry about things like setup, timings, and of course any special effects that we're going to use. In just a minute or two, we're going to show you a video which is kind of proving our point as to why fire safety should actually be taken so seriously. And that's kind of the topic for this video. At the end of the video, there'll be a little Ask Us section part. If you would like to ask us a question for a future blog video, then either leave your question in the comments section below. You can email us using masterblasterdiscos@gmail.com, or you can get in contact with us through our website, which is http all that stuff, but masterblasterdiscos.webs.com. Link and everything like that is all below. So, fire safety. Well, firstly, when it comes to fire safety, it is an issue that we understand as a company that we've got to take very, very seriously. So what we would normally do in order to be as fire safe as possible is we have a look at first of all the idea of the performance, because when we get the idea for a performance, you know, someone rings us up and says, I'm looking for a party for my wedding, this is what I want to happen, this is how I'm going to have it, this is where I'm going to have you set up, all that sort of thing. We actually sort of work out a pre-plan, and it's a plan from like a sort of schedule to keep to during the night. So it could be something from as basic as 8 o'clock start, 9 o'clock buffet, 10 o'clock restart doing the disco, and everyone up dancing till midnight when it finishes. It can be as simple as that. It can also be done, and I think I've actually done this about 3 or 4 times in my past now, where it's something happening like literally every 5 or 10 minutes, and it's an unbelievable night. It's an amazing show, but it's something which is really, really difficult. So we put together the plan of the show, and we do the timings, we do where we're going to be set up, and we also do about special effects. So if there's going to be pyrotechnics involved, if there's going to be flamethrowers, if there's going to be stilt walkers, these are things which we need to take into consideration here. The next part, skipping a load of the small print, so to speak, is when we actually turn up on the date of the event. That usually, for me, is the first chance that I can actually get into the room and see, okay, I'm going to have like a speaker over there, lights up over there, I'll be set up back there, and I'll have the smoke machine wherever, and that's sort of when I can go, right, this is how it's going to look. We do have people for some events that do go out to these halls and rooms that we perform in, and they will be the ones to go, right, we're going to have that there, and blah 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 blah, and they will plan all the way through it, which is really, really cool for me because it saves me actually having to do it. So when we go in to do our setup, of course, health and safety and fire safety is something which is really, really important for us. Some of the failings that we have seen in the past from other events that we've turned up to, I mean, like the typical ones is where you've got a DJ fully set up in front of a fire door. It can even be that this DJ set up on one side of the fire door. This is the fire door, by the way. What DJ set up there, and a speaker there, and a nice long thick cable just going along there. Not only that, but it's not the most well lit up area either, and that is something which we do need to work on. So all this gets taken into consideration. We have to make sure that our wires are put away nice and neatly when they're set up. We have to make sure that if there is going to be an evacuation called for whatever reason, that people are going to have easy access out of there. One of the other things that we've done, and I've got to say it's not actually noticed by an awful lot of people, we've not had loads of feedback on this, but it's when people are coming into the room, say if we start at 8 o'clock in the evening and 7:30 people start turning up, we actually have little announcements. There's going to be background music played because we're finished set up, but there is backing music played, and then every couple of minutes there is a little health and safety speech dropped in, and sometimes it's my voice, sometimes it's someone else's voice, but they're kind of getting the same message across, you know. The idea is to have fun, but we've got to make sure that it happens safely. And we give out little hints and tips to people. So, you know, we say that if you've made an evacuation from the building, do not go back in to collect your personal belongings. Listen to health and safety people. If there is a fire marshal available, listen to what they're saying to you. And, you know, just generally don't be stupid. So there's a couple of the things that we do. And, yeah, I'm going to show you a video now. And this kind of drives home the point as to why fire safety has got to be taken so seriously. This is a video from a couple of years ago. I know that the quality isn't the greatest of quality, but it shows you perfectly why fire safety has to be taken seriously. And not only by us as an entertainment company or DJs who are watching this, but also members of the public as well. that is an amazing video. It was actually pretty easy for us to find that. It's a prime example as to why fire safety has to be taken seriously. And I mean, I know for an entertainment company, we only operate within the northwest of England. You know, we don't cover a massive area, and this thing happened in a different country. So there's sort of different rules about fire safety, but the message is kind of the same. You know, don't be stupid, and make sure you plan these things out, like what to do in the unlikely event of there being a fire or an evacuation. Why can't I speak today? And that's kind of it for fire safety. My main advice would be to anyone who is watching this who already is a DJ or an entertainer, is to make sure that you are really, really careful when you are doing your setup. And make sure that in the back of your mind you have it pre-planned what you are actually going to say to people if you hear that fire alarm. I mean, a saying which I normally use over the mic is, "It appears that the fire alarm has gone off, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not gather any personal belongings and make your way out of the building using the nearest fire exit possible." That's kind of giving you the basic information, but it's also including there not to go back and get your personal belongings, because that can cause major problems. If you are a DJ and you're in like a country hall and there's only parents and kids in there, because you have got the microphone, not necessarily it's going to fall down onto you, but make sure that you do have a mobile phone or access to a telephone so as you can phone the emergency services. It doesn't necessarily fall down to you to do that, but that said, it wouldn't harm you to already be prepared in the back of your mind on what to do should that sort of thing happen. I know that some of you people are watching this and you will be sat there thinking, I would love to be a fire marshal because it's an adrenaline rush, it's a buzz, and it's got to get people out. It's something that's got to be done. It's an important job. And from having actually evacuated quite a few buildings now, it can be a really stressful job doing that. But if you want to do that and you live in the UK, the link is below in the video description. I don't know why. Is that video description sign these days? I don't know. I'll have to check that out with sign language. But check the video description. There is a link down there below where you can simply put in your postcode, and it will tell you all of the local courses which are going on near you, and obviously how much they cost, and you will be a qualified fire marshal. So obviously the last part of this video, as if we haven't bored you enough already, is Ask MBD. And a couple of weeks ago, we opened it up on our Facebook, Twitter, we emailed a load of people, it went on our website, and we asked people if they have any questions for us. I know that was a bad outtake. So we got a couple of questions back in, and we're going to answer them questions now. But like I said at the beginning of the video, if you do have any questions for us, leave them in the comment part below, and we will do our best to answer them for you. If they do touch upon a topic which we've already done in a previous video, so if you wanted to know a question about fire safety, we can reply to it in the next video, but obviously we're not going to do another video on fire safety. So the first question is, what is the new uniform like? For the people who follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or have hired us before, you will recognise that this is the uniform. I'm not wearing the cap because I'm filming in the middle of winter, so the cap isn't really needed. Our uniform as it stands is black trousers, one of these tops, and one of the MBD caps. That's our summertime uniform, but obviously the winter uniform we just don't bother with the caps. The new uniform that we're bringing out, and the reason we're replacing this one, is because I'll show you on the back. Can you see that? It's got the phone number wrote on. And the problem with that is that as of January next year, we're actually getting rid of our phone number altogether. We're becoming an internet-only company, so it's a big, long, complex reason why, but the general gist of it is that in the past we've had people not understanding, what the people doing the customer services are saying to them or what they mean. So if it's in text, it's a lot easier. The people who do hire us, by the way, are going to be given an emergency contact phone number for actually on the day of the event. So if there's anything that happens, they then can have contact with us over the phone. The new uniform itself, I don't know what the design is like at the moment. I know it's being worked on as we speak. And whereas when we came out with this uniform, it was just the top and the cap. This new uniform is actually going to be a whole range, so to speak. So there's going to be like coats, hats, t-shirts, trousers, high-vis jackets, high-vis trousers, but I think shoes are still going to be whatever you want to wear, so I don't know. The next question is, what has been your best performance to date? I can't really answer this because I'm not all of the DJs who work under MBD, but my personal best performance is from, my God, it was when I was in high school and I got asked to go back to my primary school and do a school disco for them. And it was in the afternoon, it was quite hot outside because it's during the summer. As the kids were coming into the hall, they were all getting sat down around the edge by all of the teachers. And well, this will tell you when it was. It was about 3 or 4 months after the song Who Let the Dogs Out had come out. And as the kids were coming in, all the teachers, they were trying to get the kids to be nice and quiet and everything, so the head teacher could have the last word. But I got slightly bored when they were coming in, so I put on Who Let the Dogs Out. And it wasn't even loud. This thing was on in the background. Like, even me, who sat next to the speakers, I couldn't hear this thing properly. But obviously the kids heard it, and when I turned it down, you just heard the whole hall, everyone just started doing these barking noises. And it was the funniest thing I've ever had in my entire life. Worst type of crowd. I've got to be honest about this. There's several things that a crowd can do, and often do, that puts me in a bad mood. The worst type of crowd in general is the ones that go to a party and then they just sit there all night. And, as many times as you say on the mic, give me a request, let me know what you want to hear. They don't give any requests. They don't go on the dance floor. They don't spend hardly any money at the bar. They're just a miserable crowd. And I have had them in the past, and they are a nightmare. As far as winding me up, getting me to the point where it's just like, I'm going to pack up and I'm going to go home. There are the ones who get obnoxiously drunk. In past performances, God, I've been shouted at, spat at, assaulted, pushed. People have tried to rip clothing off me. That one was while I was on stage in drag. That was a little bit bad. The worst sort of people at the moment that come to a party, they turn up and they want to hear what music they've got on their iPod, and they turn up to you and they go, "Oh, can I plug this in?" And you turn around and go, "No, you've hired me to play the music and to entertain. That's what I'm going to do. If you wanted your MP3 player playing all night, hire your own equipment and do it yourself." But there's loads of little things like that that really wind me up. So yeah. How long does it take you to set up? It depends. It really, really depends. The usual setup that I carry with me, me personally, it takes, my god, there was a performance I did way back in the summer where on the actual day we thought it was either going to rain or be sunny, and this is like middle of August sort of time, so we should have had lovely sunshine, but it'd been raining the couple of days before. We actually didn't have any covers with us on the day, so we had the sides of a gazebo, and they were nailed in. They were nailed in behind me. There was a shed behind me in this back garden. I was on like a raised up area anyway, but the sides of the gazebo were nailed into the fence and the shed, and then I had the other ones just to throw over the stuff in case it rained. But obviously getting all that arranged, like where we're going to put them, how we're going to get them up there, all that sort of stuff, it took 4 of us about half an hour to decide where these things were going to go. And bear in mind, it was a surprise party. We had 1 hour to get everything set up, and off we go. So it took 10 minutes to decide where it was going to go, about another 5 or 10 minutes to get it up there, and then I had 20 minutes to set an entire setup by myself. So I've never worked so fast in all my life, but anything from about 20 minutes, but then some difficult locations it's taken me over an hour and a half, and that's just for my usual setup. If we're doing like a large crowd, or we have a special thing happening, you know, we've had to hire in extra equipment, then it will take us considerably longer, really. So it completely varies on the event, but I'd say as an average, so long as we've got an hour, you're pretty sure that we'll have it set up. So that's it. That's the first MBD Blogs over and done with. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been informative for you. Don't forget, if you have any more questions that you'd like to go into my little black book, then leave them in the comments section below, or email us, or contact us through our website. If you want our Facebook or Twitter, the links to that will be below in the description box as well. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.